Greg.
And I'm Katie. Welcome to the Meeple Society. Today we are on episode 57, the first part of the O's. We are officially a little over halfway through the alphabet.
On our 10-year journey.
We're not doing this again. Anyway, before we get started, if you would please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course hit that bell icon if you want notification of future content.
Or you can follow the link below to see us on all of our social media. So, we are back from our little hiatus, doing our 24-hour marathon with Quapla Nerds called Meeple Live. Meeple Live.
You know, me and then co-op Apple.
Yep. Like what she said. But you can find that on our channel, or you can go to Quapla Nerds and watch it over there. If you missed out and you want to watch it again, or just want to watch it again, you can watch it again. If you missed out on donating or still want to donate and wanting to know how, go to the video. There's links in the show notes. They're still live. They'll still be live until the end of 2024. And
I typically put that link in the show notes of these episodes as well.
Yep. And they're in the show notes of the podcast. So,
There's all sorts
except
of
for
links.
this last one, because I totally missed all the links. Anyway.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're not here for all that, the podcast and everything now. We are here to do our playing through our collection.
Yes.
So we got 9 games. 2 of them are go backs because we picked up new games.
We picked up new games. What else is new?
Well, one's new, one's old.
Okay.
But it was new to us. It was still a shrink. But we're going to go with the newer one. This is Deep Dive.
Yes.
Your penguins diving into the ocean to the different depths of the oceans trying to find food to make sets.
Yes. Yeah, that's basically what this is. It's a set collection. There are 3 different colors of fish in here, red, yellow, and green. And you're scoring points based on the sets that you're able to make, one of each color. Now, they're not all the same fish. Even within the same color, they're not all the same fish.
Well, they're not all fish either.
The ones you want
There's
are
octopods,
octopus. Yes,
there are crabs and shrimp.
Okay, that's true.
It's seafood or
seafood.
Sea life. How about that? Sea life.
So there's 5 levels of potential food in the ocean. And each round you are progressing one of your 3 penguins down a level, flipping over one tile, and depending on what that tile is, you have the option of grabbing it and resurfacing, or you can leave it there and continue down further. Meanwhile, you're flipping over these tiles so other people can see what they are, and one of your opponents can come through and just snag that one piece of fish or whatever it was from that level if that's one of the colors they need.
Or you can get a rock.
Or you can get a rock. Rocks help you dive further down later in the game, or next turn, whichever. They allow you to skip levels and dive down as far as you want. So you're doing this and you're progressing down into the different depths of the ocean, trying to pick up all these little square pieces throughout each of the depths. However, there is the potential of finding a predator. You can find I want to say killer whales, and that's not technically what they are. Orcas, thank you. There were sharks, orcas, and seals. And if you found a predator, then you were stuck on that tile. You would come back up eventually. It's not like the predator did something bad, but you were stuck there until all 3 of your until all 3 of your penguins were stuck. And then all 3 of them would surface together, bringing one piece of food total back to the surface. So, what was I going to say? If you had somebody stuck, if one of your penguins was stuck on a certain level, so maybe my penguin was stuck on level 3. When I got to level 2, I could bypass level 3 and go straight to 4 because that penguin that's stuck was keeping that orca busy. And therefore I didn't have to risk anything on that level. I would just continue to progress down. That being said, the further you get down, the more risk there is of finding a predator.
Yes, because the bottom one was like half and half. There's less tiles as you go down as well.
And you take tiles out randomly based on player count.
And
so they
more
literally tell you to just, and you don't know what you're going to end up
Right,
with.
and there's more and more predators as you go down.
Yes.
So
Cute.
I was beginning to think there wasn't any
I
food
know,
down
right? I love the wood pieces. They're cute little penguins. So it was fun. I really enjoyed the game. Small footprint, which is nice. Lots of pieces though, but yeah, 1 to 6 players. So it's a nice player count too. 20-minute game, easy game. Anyway, that is Deep Dive by AEG. Fun little game.
Yep.
This will probably see more playtime. So yeah, there you go. All right.
So the next one is an older Simon game. Did you know it was a Simon game?
I did not.
It is. This is Gizmos.
This is actually 2nd edition.
Yeah, this was one that I've been wanting to play for a
I
long
have been
time.
very curious about this, and then when I saw it, I was watching one of the Dice Tower Top 100s recently, and this was in Wendy's.
Wendy's and Chris's usually.
Yeah, this was in Wendy's top 10, and I thought, well, I tend to like a lot of the same games she does, so that really piqued my interest. And when we saw it just this past weekend up at our local game store, we went ahead and grabbed it. So we still had a little bit of a gift card left over from our birthdays, so we used it. So this one is all marble based. The 2nd edition comes with a plastic base versus a cardboard one. I guess the 1st edition came with, and then it just has a thing you put around it. So you've got all these marbles into your gizmo that you are one by one you're pulling out for one reason or another. The basis of this game, well, you're programming essentially. You are building modules, for lack of a better term, I guess, in an engine.
You're building an engine.
Yeah, you're building an
to
engine.
make your turns a little more stronger and stronger.
Yes.
For points.
Yes, well, always. All right, so everybody has your player board. This is the extent of your player board. It is essentially a tableau builder. Each of these cards will have a different symbol on them that tells you when you build it, where you put it. And then when you do that action, you put the card under that piece. Like this bottom one happens to have the file action on it. So I would put it here under file. So anytime that I would select a card to reserve it, i.e. filing it, so that only I can build it later, then I would put it under here. And every time I do the file action, if that card applies, I can do an extra action with it. There's 5 different possibilities, although research doesn't ever get cards under it.
Well, yeah, research does not get.
Research doesn't get cards under it, but you can...
but the upgrades are
the upgrade, yes,
make
that's
the
true.
Research stronger.
Upgrade allows you to grab more marbles. Okay, so the different actions are that you can convert. You can convert one color marble into a different color, or one of red into 2 reds when you go to spend them. You can file, which is essentially just reserving the cards for use later where nobody else can touch them. You can pick a marble. So when you pick a marble, you're looking at what is just coming out through here. You're not picking out of here. You're just looking at the row. And you can take any one of those colors you wish.
So like Potion's Explosion with just one row.
Exactly. You can build. These are all laid out, and there's different numbers based on the different
level.
Level. Thank you. So, like this one here requires 1 blue marble to build it, and when I build it, I take it and I put it on my board under
conversion.
Yeah, that's a conversion action. I put it under the conversion action. So now every time I can trade, anytime I want, I can trade 1 red marble in for something else. Or, well, you don't even trade it.
Well, you convert it as you're using it.
Yes. So maybe later down the road, like this guy requires 4 blacks. Well, if I have 1 red and 3 blacks, I can build this one because I can automatically convert that red to anything I want. So if you build these up, now it only works once per turn, so I can only convert 1 red. I can't convert 3 reds to black. But if I got 2 more of these cards at 1 blue each, then I could. So you're building up this engine that will allow you to operate a little more efficiently as you do various actions. It's really, I really enjoyed it. I did not win it, but I really enjoyed
like
it.
this. Well, this is an engine building.
Yeah, and that is definitely your strong point.
Yeah. And what I thought about later after we got done playing this the other night
Yeah.
is that this reminds me of an old Sid Saxon game, Bizarre, because you're trying to figure out how to manipulate the marbles you have into what you need to get what you need, so you can make that actually even better. Now, Bizarre didn't have that. You're just trying to manipulate the market to fill orders.
Yes.
But it's the same type of thing. Well, I'm going to take this one, and I can do it over here. So when I need it, I have that, so I can make it do this. And
yeah, and you can convert stuff around. If you've got 4 convert cards, you can do pretty much anything you want.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I can't believe it took us this long to get it.
I can't either. Yeah, this is a good
I've
one.
almost pulled this off the shelf 3 times, probably. Almost every year we go to the retreat, I've almost pulled it off the shelf. I was like,
Well,
I'll find something else I wanted to play more.
anyway, that is Gizmos. Very much enjoyed this one.
Yep.
Engine builder, a little bit of push your luck with the, if I don't take that marble now, is it still going to be there next round? Because there is a way
If I don't reserve that card.
If I don't
somebody
reserve
else
that
take
card,
that
is somebody
card?
else going to take it? Yeah. I really like this one. I definitely like this one. But anyway, I did not win this one. Not by a long shot. But I don't usually win engine builders. Very rarely.
No. You win the resource management.
That's my forte.
And polyomino.
There you
Okay,
go.
so let's
Gizmos.
go on to the O's.
Yep, on to the O's.
To the O's, we are first off with of Dungeons Deep. This is it has a little bit of deck building because of the things because some of the monsters you win, you get
The monsters,
weapon
you get the weapon that you can use later
that
on.
It's a little bit of cooperative to try and take out the monster, but
It's almost got that smash up mechanism where there's okay, so the way this works, there are 3 monsters out in the middle of the table with 3. These cards basically just keep track of their hit points. It's really all it is. And then that's a player card.
Yep.
That's a player card. When you find monster cards,
Yep,
there we
there
go. So each of the monster cards will have the hit points listed in the corner. These are based on player count. So depending on how many players you have, you mark the hit points on here, and these sit right next to them. So
it also has
each
how much
round,
damage they'll do, their weakness, and then how much they're worth.
Yes. So each round, everybody who's playing, you have to leave a little bit of space because everybody who's playing is looking through their cards of their.
Or you get 5 cards.
You get 5 cards total. Actually, no, you get 6.
6 cards.
You have 6 cards of your base hero, and then you get 4 cards, 8 cards from your base hero. You get 4 cards from essentially a sidekick.
Yep.
And you're shuffling them up, you're drawing 6 into your hand. So you're looking through those 6, and of course I only grabbed 5. You're looking through those 6, and you're deciding of the 3 monsters that are out, which card are you going to apply? I did grab 6. Which card are you going to apply to each one of those monsters? And then you're looking at their weaknesses, and you're looking at what kind of damage you can do, because if they are affected by fire. Well, I don't want to put this one that's cold on there. I'm going to put one of the guys that does fire on it. Because if I lay this guy down, he's only going to do 3 points of damage. Because that's all the base damage he's got.
Yep.
But this guy's going to do 6 because he specializes in fire. So you're laying these cards out against each of the monsters. You're laying 3 cards out face down. Each player is doing this. And then I'll pull these back a little bit so you can actually see them on camera. But then, after everybody has made their choices, everybody flips them over. And you go through and you count up points. And you adjust their hit point tracker by how much they now have. Then you do it again. Now you have the choice of reserving a card, which may only leave you with 5 cards. You may not get to put down a total of 6 cards. But after you do that, then you do it again. However you're going to do it. And then everybody again flips over their cards and you do whatever the card says. You apply the damage that he does. At that point, you see, 1, is the monster dead? Did you defeat him? If you didn't, he deals damage to whoever did the most damage to him.
Which I think's wrong, but
Why?
should go to the person who didn't do much damage.
It's the person who's hitting him the most.
You know.
Whatever. Anyway, so the monster deals full damage to whoever hit him. Now, if there's a tie, he deals 1 point of damage to each person and he's done. If he was not killed, then he just leaves the game. However, if you took him out, if you took care of him, number one, he deals no damage. But number two, whoever did the most amount of damage gets to keep the card. Everybody else gets 1 blue token.
Mm-hmm.
The blue tokens
are worth 2 points.
They're worth 2 points at the end of the game, but they're also used against the big monsters.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have them. Or you can use them to buy back your health. There's a couple other things you can use them for. So I thought it was a pretty interesting game.
Weapon.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. When the person who did the most amount of damage takes the card, 1 for the victory points, but you flip it over and now this weapon is now in your deck of cards. So
That's
I now would
deck
have
building part of the game.
Right. I would now have a scimitar. It does 5 points of damage. You just can't do anything against orcs or goblins.
Yes.
So it's a good weapon. Just don't fight an orc or a goblin. I mean, I thought it was a cute game.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, it's been sitting on our shelf since 2016, and this is only the second time we played it. And I can guarantee you, if it had not been for this set of videos,
it's probably
it would
still
not
not
have
been
played. So we are going to move it to the other collection because I do think it's an interesting game. And I could definitely see where it would be fun, maybe with 4 players or something. It's just not something we pull out very often, which is very apparent. So yeah, this one is just going to move over to the travel collection, and we will see if it gets more love there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that is of Dungeons Deep. Now I will say I very much dislike this kind of box.
Yeah, the side doesn't
That
have anything
literally
on it except for
only
one.
has one side of printing on it.
Yep.
So if you don't put your boxes that direction, which means I can't store it this direction.
Mm-mm.
And we have another game that does the same thing. It's only written up top. I hate it. Anyway. All right.
That's what you really think.
I know, right? I just don't. It leaves you so limited on how you can store your boxes. And anyway, moving on.
Moving on to another AEG game. This is Octo Dice. This, you said, was our first roll and write that we bought?
This was our very first roll and write. You can still feel the residue of the Goodwill sticker. I tried to get it off. It did not come all the way off. But yes, I bought this at Goodwill for 99 cents. Up on Pedal Bike. I remember when I found it.
Definitely got its money's worth.
I've definitely gotten my money's worth out of it, yes. All right, so this one is a roll and write version of, and not technically.
It's
but it
kind of
might
the
as
theme.
well be.
It's the theme's there
The theme
for
is
Aquasphere.
Aquasphere, yes. I mean, it. Like I said, it's not technically supposed to be a
No,
roll and write of it,
but it
is.
But it is.
So here is your board. You're rolling dice and on your turn. It's got a Yahtzee mechanism to it where you roll all 6 dice, you choose 2, you roll the other 4, you choose 2, you roll the last 2. Done. And then after all 6 dice you're done rolling all 6 dice, then you can make your pairs. Mm-hmm. You can match up 1 black die, which is all numbers and colors, with 1 white die, which is your mechanisms. Yeah. Okay. So there are different mechanisms in here, and each one requires a different colored die to go with it. So, for instance, you can look for diamonds. The diamonds, you're going straight off the number. You want as many 2s as possible there because that's how many victory points you're getting for that particular die roll. The gear, you have to go in color order. Now you're just looking straight up color. Mm-hmm. You want to go in color order, and the further down you get, the more points it's worth each time you do it. This is your what do they call these?
They call them.
I cannot remember what they call them.
Mr. Grinch.
It's the same thing as in the game too. It's
labs.
The labs, yes. This is the lab action. So if you roll the lab, then you can you want to roll the lab and a number, and you can advance one of your markers up on one of the labs. There's 9 labs out, 3 sets of 3. And each lab progressively gives you better benefits. And then there's the robots. You need 2 different colored robots. When you roll the first yellow and a robot, you mark off the yellow and you get a point. When you roll the second yellow robot, you mark off the yellow again and you get another 2 points. The submarines, you don't get points right off the bat. You get points at the end of each round based on how many robots you have connected to the submarine. Right. In addition to that, there's still the octopods. Those are still a thing. The more you roll in a turn, the more you claim, the better points you're going to get off of them. The game is played in a total of 6 turns, 3 rounds, and every 2 turns, you're basically doing a scoring round. You're scoring up your octopods and your submarines at the end of each round, which is, like I said, is 2 turns. Now, where this gets interesting is it has a follow mechanism of sorts. Every round, so every 2 turns, you have 2 free actions where you can claim 2 dice rolled by somebody else. It doesn't have to be the same set. So if Greg had paired his diamond with the white 2, but he also rolled a robot, I really need a white robot, I can take that white and the robot and pair them together and put it over here instead of over here. So it all just kind of depends on how you want to use them. But you can only do this twice. Even in a 4-player game, you're watching what everybody else is rolling and you're having to really make a hard decision of, do I do that or do I hold out for the robot? So I've always enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of fun. This is one I taught my mom how to play. As a matter of fact, the last time we played it with her out in Phoenix, she won. So
she learned.
She did. So I've played this with her a couple times now. But yeah, very interesting roll and write. I do enjoy it. It's complex for roll and write without being heavy.
Without being Hadrian's Wall complex.
Right. Yes. But yet it still feels like the game. I feel like if you know the game, you've got a pretty good grasp on how this is going to run. Because it's very, very similar.
I mean, they even call them the octopods.
They do.
Both games.
They do. So, but yeah, anyway, that is Octo Dice. Very fun little trick-taking, geez. Very fun little roll and write game. I don't even know where that came from. Anyway, that is that. Move on.
Next is Oceania. This is basically a 2-player game of
Entdecker.
I was like, I can't remember the game now.
Yeah.
Okay.
This
is literally a 2-player game of Entdecker. It's by the same company, which is Mayfair.
Entdecker is a full-size board.
And it's by the same designer too, if I'm not mistaken. I can never say his last name. Tobler?
I don't know.
Tuber. Toiber, yeah. Catan.
I had to stop and look at it. Okay, so anyway, this is your board. The way this runs, again, very much like Entdecker, which we talked about back in the E's. You have a number of ocean tiles. You've got a few stacks of just base tiles that are used when
you need to fill in.
You need to fill in a
surrounded,
hole.
And you can't get into that
exactly.
area.
When there is only one tile left open and it is completely surrounded, you can just fill in a hole out of the base stacks. However, there is an entire set that is down that you're drawing tiles from each turn. So everybody's running the same ship on this one.
Yeah.
And instead of little wood agents, you've got these little token chips. Which, whatever. So everybody runs the same ship, and you are starting on the little grid lines. You start on one of the edges, and you say, okay, this is the tile I'm laying down. You draw a tile, you place it on here, and you can place it any way you want. It just has to line up. All the islands have to line up. All the dotted sea lines have to line up. So I could not, well, that one does not help because that's dotted lines everywhere.
It would have worked.
That one absolutely would have worked. It does not work for my example.
Okay.
So, for instance, I could do this that sea lane's not going very far, but that's
No.
okay. I can just move to a different sea lane next turn. I could not do this because, if you can see this, there's an island going into a sea lane. That does not work. Now, I could move it over here.
If you started from
If
there.
I started right there. Yes, I would have to have started here. So starting in the corner is not always the best option. But that's going to make this spot very hard to fill because I would have to have one of these tiles that I can do this with. It's a very interesting little route building for all intents and purposes.
You're trying to get your island as big as you can because
Yes.
you score points depending on how many tiles that made to make up the
Yes.
island. But you have to watch out because if you make it too big, the other
You're
player
never
could join
gonna-
into it, and
And
then
whoever has the most.
has the most of the
Yes.
the
most.
It
Area-
looks like keyholes, but
They're
the
little
skeleton
people.
keyholes. But
It does actually. But yeah, it's whoever has the most agents on the island.
Yep.
That's who gets control of the island. And again, you score points based
Yeah.
on how big the island is.
Now in Decker, it's if you went through an area that had one of those on it, you had to pay a toll.
Yes.
This one you don't.
And Decker had a lot more rules to it.
Mhm.
It was a little more advanced.
This
game.
one's a
is
very basic
simple.
one, and this has been on the shelf for quite a while. We got this, I think, one of the time when we were demoing games for Mayfair at Gen Con.
Yes, 2015.
And until a couple weeks ago, the last time we played it was when you were in the hospital. We played it on her little hospital table.
We did. We did. Yeah, this is one of the few games we've ever literally broken out at the hospital and played. Oop, I forgot a tile. All right, and for that very reason, this one is going to, we're not even going to move it to the other room,
No.
actually. Because it's an older two-player game, we just don't see it ever coming off the shelf. We are going to go ahead and just let this one go. I think it's a good game, but
Yeah.
like I said, it's been on our shelf for 10 years, and we've played it
Well,
twice.
if you like Int Decker, if you've ever played Int Decker,
This
that's
is
another game.
it's
This
a
is a
good
good
two-player
two-player
one.
game, a smaller footprint,
Yeah,
easier to get to the table than Int Decker, less
Yeah.
setting up.
yeah. It is an interesting one. I will give it that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, yeah, that is Oceania. And unfortunately, it is going to leave the
Say
collection.
goodbye.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Next we have a game called Off Topic. This was a gift to me for Christmas last Christmas
Yeah.
by one of our clients that we remodeled her basement. She wanted to get all of us that were always there and working gifts for Christmas.
Which was very
And
sweet of her.
She asked a couple of the other guys, like my boss and one other guy, things about us. What would we like? And of course, all my coworkers know I'm big into board games and that we do this. So she went, I don't know where she picked it up, probably Target or something, but found this game and said
Yeah.
she wanted to hear a review of it. Well, I haven't seen her since, but
Okay. And so this is a party game. We've actually played this one twice now.
we've played this with
we
your
had
mom.
set it out to play on the 24, and it
Yep,
just
it
never
just
came
never
off the
came off
shelf.
the shelf. Yep.
All right, so everybody gets a player board and a dry erase marker.
Mm-hmm.
There are 16 answer cards in here, and I kind of wish there were more because although even with just 16 cards, the roll of the die makes it different every time. Hopefully, you got a 20-sided die. All right, so what happens is there are, and I guess you could always just make up your own question cards.
Yes, you can.
You could do that. I imagine.
Now, warning, the box says ages 17 and up, and there's a reason for that because of some of the cards that
Yeah.
are in this game.
Yeah, this is a little awkward.
And
playing
we
with our
did
kids.
not realize that.
Nope.
I don't think the
Nope.
person who bought me this realized that either,
Nope.
but there is some kind of risque thing.
Yeah,
so,
card number 3 has
so
some
don't,
risque stuff
if
on
you
it.
want to play it, don't play it with your kids.
Or at least read the questions
Yes,
first.
read the questions on it before you pass them out.
Because some of them are fine.
Yeah, some of them are just fine.
Like this one, words to describe your grandmother.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Nothing. Okay, this one could go either way. Nothing is better than blank in the middle of the night. A midnight snack. It could go either way.
Cereal.
There you go. Things you do while you're procrastinating. Well, I can come up with a whole stinking
Sleep.
list for that.
Sleep, watch TV, nap.
Blank me if you can. the blanks
Catch me.
and the answers. Yes. Well,
The proper one would be catch me.
Conversation killers. Flexible things. A straw.
Yeah.
Presidents, first or last names, and then things they should have taught in school. So those are all of question 1.
Sounds easy, right?
Well, here's
the kicker.
You got to roll a die. And every one of them has to start with the letter that's rolled for that round. You play 5 rounds. So, yeah, F. Things they should have taught you in school. Finance. Everybody says that.
So you got, it's a 2-minute timer?
Yes, you have a 2-minute timer to fill out all 8 questions.
Literally, you've got a 2-minute timer.
Yeah. So you have 2 minutes to fill out all 8 questions.
Or as many as you can.
Or as many as you can. I literally ended one round with nothing on here because I could not think of a single thing. My brain went blank. And the one word I could come up with didn't fit for any of them. So it's like, whatever. Anyway, so after you have finished filling everything in, you go through and everybody reads off their answers to each of the questions. And then if some of them are a little iffy, you vote on whether or not they're acceptable. If they are acceptable, then great. You just kind of check mark that one. However, if anybody else had the same answer you did,
you don't get
you
that one.
both lost that question. And it happened a lot, let me tell you. With 6 players, it happens a lot.
We played this on Father's Day with our kids.
Yes.
Now, our kids are 32
and 28.
So
and both of their
they are above the 17 age
wife
limit,
/ fiancés.
Yes.
But
I don't think we realized some of those questions were in here, and then realized we're playing this with our 2 sons, one wife, one daughter-in-law, and one future daughter-in-law. So we're like going, okay.
The most. Well, I don't even want to read these.
No, don't.
No,
it's a family show.
Anyway, some of them are a little risque.
So.
It was fun.
It is a lot of fun.
We never discussed what we're doing with it, though. Is it staying here?
I thought we were staying it over here because I'm not putting it over there.
I think it has to stay here. Yeah, so it's going to stay in this room.
It's a lot of fun. It's a nice party game for adults.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, for adults.
Yes, that's off topic. And like I said, I think she might have picked this up at Target.
I am very glad it did not come off the shelf.
Yes.
And we accidentally came into one of those questions.
Yes, we would have changed the question.
We'd have had to. Unfortunately, it was live, so we may not have been able to. But anyhow, yeah. It was an interesting game. We'll keep it.
So,
it was a nice
off
gift.
topic, a game for those slightly off. Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Okay, so, like that game, it should have been oddly obvious that it was an adult game if you noticed it was 17 and up. Yeah. This game, it has a box lid that's upside down.
What else is new?
But this game is for 12 and up.
All right, so what happens? There's a stand with this card in it. One person is reading the back of the card. Everybody else is looking at the front of the card and trying to blurt out the answer to the question as quickly as possible. All the answers are on this card. So, for example, at the edge of the rainbow.
Violet?
Yes. Now, here you go. An expert zombie fighter.
A teenager.
Yes. That's the concept of the game. So everybody else is looking at the card. One person is reading the questions off on the back. And I think whoever gets the most questions right gets the card. And then you play to a certain number. Done. It was fun. It was definitely different.
I will say it was fun. I don't remember.
You don't remember it? Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Did just the 2 of us?
No, we played this over at Joe and Tony's.
Oh.
So,
okay.
Tony won.
Ah.
Because she is quick at picking up on those weird clues.
I don't really remember the game.
I do. I enjoyed it. So, anyway, that is oddly obvious. It is, again, another fun little party game. So, yeah, we're going to hold on to this one. We're going to keep this in the other room. That's where it resides in the travel collection right now. We're going to keep it there.
So, this next game is a very brutal take that game It is the worst. This is the most brutal game we've ever played.
Okay.
This is called Oh No, You Don't.
And there's a card in there called Oh No, You Don't.
This has a very brutal battle system. That it's an advanced part of it, but it's very brutal.
Sure, yeah. If you want to call eye pokes brutal.
Because she poked me in the eye, but I got her back by giving her a wedgie.
Uh-huh. Yep, there's the wedgie. There's the eye poke. There's a nose tweak, a toe stomp, a beard tug. That'll work on you. Doesn't work on me. A hat slap. A headbutt. A butt boot. A butt boot. An ear flick. Never got those when you were kids, did you? Or a shin kick. Yeah. These only happen if you landed on the exact same space as somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Now, you could play cards that forced you to land on the same spot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then have a brawl. We had one brawl.
We had one
like
brawl.
Said, you poked me in the eye, and I gave you a wedgie.
Yep.
And won the battle.
Yep. All right, so here's your board. Very cute, childlike board.
Mm-hmm.
So the concept with this one...
It reminded me of Candyland.
It did. So the concept with this guy is you are taking one of your little gnomes...
And you get a handful, some cards.
Yes. You're rolling a die to see how far you can move.
It is a roll and move.
Yes, it is a roll and move. You roll the die, see how far you can move, play one card out of your hand. You may play one card out of your hand, and then you can draw a card. You have a hand limit, though, so you have to discard down if you get to so many cards. So you're playing cards out of your hand to do various things. Some of them are just simply items you're going to sell at the next shop. There are 4 shops on the board, and then as you move around the board, you can stop and sell things. You don't have to sell there because some of them are worth more at different places.
But you have to have them in front of you. You have to already play them out into the front of you.
Yes, they have to be visible to everybody in order to play to sell them. There are cards that, well, let's see, those are the selling items. There's mining. There is a mine where all these different gems are there, ranging from 1 to I think 10. I think so. But you can roll a die and mine that many gems. There are ways to prevent people from stealing stuff from you. There are ways to steal stuff from other people. It's just a cute take that kind of game.
Now this, if you've ever been to Gen Con, I haven't seen it in the last couple of years. I think maybe COVID killed it. But they used to play this, a live action version of this, where they put gnome hats on you. It had the little cotton beards and everything. And you actually played the game, and you were the gnome on the board that they had laid out.
Yeah, that was cute.
I always wondered, like, what in the world is this weird game? But now, if it was there, I would have loved to play it now. That would have been really cool, because we've played the board game now.
Yeah. That would have been fun.
So, yeah. And now I know that they weren't just kind of weird people just walking around in gnome hats and cotton beards, but...
Well, and this is a set of 3 games. And we have the trailer park one. I think we have the other one, too. I cannot for the life of me remember the name of it.
I don't know.
I thought I saw it on this sheet of paper in here. I could be wrong.
I know at one point when I was reading the rules, when I got to the bottom, it said that you can play... I think it's on the back.
I thought I saw it.
Trailer Park Wars and Redneck Live.
There you go.
I think we have both of them, yeah.
I think we have Redneck Live. I know we have Trailer Park Wars, and I'm pretty sure we have Redneck Live. I guess we'll find out when we get to the R's very soon.
What was the one? I think there's something about it on the end of the game if there was scoring. Where is scoring? No, it's the person who gets the they had a lot of like little one-liner jokes in the rule book itself.
Oh yeah, the rule book was hysterical. Yeah, they're like this one. The shortest player goes first.
Yeah. Play
continues clockwise and follows this pattern: roll, move, play, draw.
Yes.
And I kid you not, it says this. Chant with me now: roll, move, play, draw.
Yep.
It was fun.
It was fun. Yeah.
We had a good time with this one.
This sits over in the other collection, but we'll know where it's at.
Yep. Yeah, it's a good Goodwill find.
I can see this. It plays up to how many?
4.
It's 13. That plays up
5.
to 5. So yeah, we'll have to get a bunch of people to play this.
Next
we can play it on the next 24.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. So
that would be hysterical.
Stay tuned to that.
Yeah. Okay.
Last but not least is a game. We had a lot of couple of AEG games this week.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Deep Dive, Octo Dice, and this one. But this is Oath of the Brotherhood. This one was actually, we stopped at a little bitty...
a store, the guy was just opening this store.
Yes.
He wasn't even fully stocked yet. Down in, I want to say Kentucky or Tennessee.
I think it was in Tennessee. Anyway, we found the store, we went in, he recommended some games for us, and this was one of them.
Yes.
This is a lot better than the other one he recommended to us, though. But anyway, this one we played once, and we could not, for the life of us, remember how it played.
Yeah.
We got it out just the other day, played this, and we actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Okay, so Oath of the Brotherhood. This one, here is your board, and I love the artwork on this. The board is gorgeous. A little muted, maybe. It's fitting.
It's pretty good.
It's fitting for what it is. So there we go. So there's your board. It is this gorgeous island where it's basically a worker placement. It's action selection worker placement. You have your main pirate, and then you have his 3 little henchmen. And I know they call it something else, but you get the idea. So every turn you're getting, or every round I should say, I'm sorry, you're getting 4 turns.
Yep.
And the rounds, it's for a 2-player game it was 7, for a 4-player game it goes up to 10.
Your mates.
Your mates, thank you. You're choosing a spot on the island, all of these circular areas, and doing that action. And some of them may be as simple as draw a card, draw an action card that you can save until later. Some of them are grab coins. This one is, that one's grab coins. This is grab supplies. There's a few places to grab supplies. There is an area down here called the black market where you can pay coins and do the action of the black market, whatever action card happens to be there at the time. And then you discard the card. These don't refill until the end of the round. They don't refill every turn. There's a tavern where you can hire companions.
Yep.
And those companions will give you bonuses for the rest of the game. You
And
can use them once per round.
Yeah, and some of them, it's when you go do a action in a specific place.
Right.
Go to it.
But the core of the game is getting victory points naturally, and that is to finish off missions. Yes, you go up here to finish them off or to collect one. At the end of the game, you automatically get to finish off one you're working on if you can. Each mission has a number of things it requires, a number of supplies it requires, and you have to have those supplies in your possession
On your player board.
On your player board when you go do it. Then you turn it in, you grab a new one, and you move on. Discarding all of your supplies, of course. So it moves really quickly.
Yeah.
I was really surprised how fast the game moved.
And I think the neatest thing, as you picked up the different
Yes.
supplies, you put it on your board, and then you had the power that you covered up.
Yes. But in order to finish the mission, you
You
have
had
to get rid of them.
Yes, like
Which
the
means
one,
you lost the power that
like
you had.
on, because if you go to the same action where somebody else is already at, you have
Yes.
to pay them a coin. But there's a spot
Maybe.
on equipment that if you have that covered up, you don't have to pay them now. No, it's strength. It wasn't a coin, it was
You're
strength.
losing a point of
because you keep
strength
track
right
of your
here.
strength at the top.
Yeah.
But you'd have to give them a strength. But if you went to an area, if you were in an area and somebody came there and you had the pistol covered up, you could either have them pay you or they would lose strength, or they paid you a coin.
Right.
So, but yeah, I liked how the more you got on your board to cover it up, the more little extra things. Plus, each board, each pirate had a special power that nobody else had either.
I thought it was pretty interesting.
Also, like how the board grew,
Yes.
because there is
That was
expeditions that you could go on, and it would put out more actions on it. Find the one on the beach, because we have the beach right there.
I gotta find
They're
the
right there.
cards.
Right there.
Oh, right
That's
there they
the
are.
expedition ones.
There's all these different cards that match up with the scenery on the board that you can place out. When you draw it, you have to place it out. And then depending on the action you just took, you might be able to go ahead and do that action right away. But now it becomes a spot anybody else can go to, not just you. So now if I was to do this discovery card and I found this location down here on the beach, I could put my person here and pick up either an ally or a good. But I could pick up either one of them. And there's lots of them in here. So the board continues to expand throughout the game.
Yeah, the more you explore.
Yeah, the more that the exploration action is done, the bigger the board gets. So I thought that was pretty interesting too.
So yeah. So,
Yeah.
with not remembering how the game played the first time,
Yeah.
like I said, the second time, because I was all figuring, yeah, this game's gonna go. I
Yeah.
don't remember anything about it, but
We both
playing it
really
again, we
enjoyed it.
both really enjoyed playing it. It was a surprise, so
I think we're gonna
it's
hold on
staying
to
over
it at least
we'll play it again.
a couple
and
more times, and then we'll decide.
We'll see how often it comes off the table.
Yeah.
But I did really enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that is Oath of the Brotherhood, The Chosen. Very simple, very fast worker placement game.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that is it for this episode.
Yep.
Hopefully you're enjoying this shorter format. We've got another one about halfway played. So we'll get there.
Also, go and check out the Meeple live streams.
Yes.
Look in the show notes if you want to donate still to Extra Life and the Children's
Sure.
Miracle Network. They're still live. They'll be live till the end of 2024.
Yeah.
And until then, we'll see you at the next one.